Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from the host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 versus 1 on Semois. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, on Semois. We shall be watching here in the north Andyisrippin, fighting for the 2nd Panzer Division, trying to hold up the northern part, whereas opposing him and pushing in is Blackdolphn of the 2nd Infantry Division. A bit of brutal fighting right here in the streets of Semois. The narrow streets shall be flowing with American and German blood. And we are noting right here immediately a 3 pioneer start from Andyisrippin, thus signalling that he's intent on securing a bit more territory than his opponent initially. Though, of course, again, if Blackdolphn then decides to go for more engineers as well, that's going to be a bit negated him, and then the riflemen can quickly overcome, because again, riflemen do initially take territory much faster. They basically have that small advantage. Whereas the Pfalz Grenadiers will get one, but that's only at tier 2, and that won't be the same as the riflemen, whereas Grenadiers do have the same capturing speed. So there is something to consider there. And we are seeing Andyisrippin already moving towards here. Most likely might even go for some victory points, supposed to rush for that. Wiring off this fuel point initially, and we are seeing the first unit out here is in fact a bike. He might be wanting to harass a Blackdolphn a bit, catch him a bit off guard, push him around a bit, and tell him he smells of something undeterminable. The Pioneer's pushing up there. He might try and be wiring off. Yes, indeed, he is wiring off this area to close off the bridge. That will still leave this small area to enter into this part of the map from this side, but that causes another concern. There we go. Bike going in pretty aggressively, opening up, and the riflemen right there. They're quickly getting pushed off. And the Pioneers are continuing their moves. Nothing from the Wehrmacht quarters as of yet. And there goes 2nd Squad of Riflemen on the way for Blackdolphn. And Andyisrippin also got something on the way. Fuel pump being secured. What is he doing here? He seems to be ignoring the strategic point there. Is he getting some units to do that? What? That's actually a bit of a peculiar capturing order he has there. So that means he won't be benefiting from this fuel anytime soon, nor that munition, so that is in fact a bit awkward. 2nd Squad of Riflemen joining up there for Blackdolphn, moving up there to secure, moving up here to secure. And we do see some Pfalz Grenadiers finally on the way for Andyisrippin. Engineers me coming under fire from the bike, firing away a few good shots there. Headlights directly into the lake in search of non-German life, which might appear from the lakes. And a bit of barbed wire there to then close off that part entryway as well. That is good, that is good. Bit of weaving about, so far no real engagement for either player. There we go! Blackdolphn already cutting the wire with the assistance of the rifle. Oh, but again, note units are much more vulnerable while they're, for example, cutting wire, and in this case the bike quickly pounces upon them, ending the lives of 2 engineers as they were a bit overexposed, in particular since they were in negative cover, which means there were a lot of penalties just basically stacking together, meaning those engineers had barely any chance, and he was in fact quite fortunate that the entire engineer squad was not wiped out in a second. These Pioneers end for a grim surprise. Man engagement towards the centre. Pfalz moving up. Munition being secured down south. Few there. Moving centrewards. Andyisrippin joining up with his 2 Pfalz Grenadier squads. That is a good move, although now he's leaving them with unable to support each other. That is considerably less good, since that means the rifleman could quickly get the advantage. Although it looks like one rifleman squad is in fact, no, he's pushing in towards the northern part of the town, going to hit the northern squad. Although we can quickly see, yeah, we go, getting into the house and hanging out to the Americans, going to catch him out there. The bike could also provide a bit of help, but that's kind of being repaired by Andyisrippin. There we go, rifleman getting caught inside the cemetery, while the rifleman squad moving in and taking up position in the house there as well. Pfalz abandon the church, and there we go, the rifleman getting caught inside the cemetery. Pfalz ganging up on them, quickly going to cut off one element of Blackdolphn's forces in the cemetery, and there we go, right, bike moving in to support, and there we go, Pfalz Grenadiers only lose about 2 men, whereas the rifleman squad right here is considerably lower on health. And there we go, more riflemen joining in from north of the town. This is definitely going to be a bit of a engagement. MG's now moving in for Andyisrippin. Blackdolphn moving in force. Can the MG42 arrive in time? Can Andyisrippin focus down the right elements? Can he win this engagement? MG42 setting up, he might want to pull the Pfalz towards it. Since now they're going to get ganged up from there, and now instead we do see retreat. We also see the MG42 opening up quick, suppressing one squad of riflemen. Ultimately, this was not quite an engagement that worked out for Andyisrippin. He rather sadly became a bit too greedy, and already looks like Blackdolphn, of course, is going to try and flank the MG42, but Andyisrippin, of course, sensing something's not quite right, is already pulling it back to a less flankable position. There you go, Rifleman score in this case gets stopped, but there we go, another flank, but we also see another MG42 covering that flank. So Andyisrippin is now setting up a much sterner, much more heavily armed front line, but he's forgetting about the Rifleman squad moving in there, exposing his flank, of course, in this case, forcing him to pack up. Definitely a bit unfortunate. ND crew already almost down to half health. And some mine engagement up here as Blackdolphn pushes for Andyisrippin's fuel. Also mining going down here. The Pioneers seem to be doing nothing, standing right next to a wounded engineer, and a small force of riflemen going to move in and push them off. There we go, Pioneer down, and the last man makes a run for it. The Volkskanadier is counterattacking in the north, meaning the centre won't really be moving much. The MGs will likely be... maybe, if Andyisrippin wants to push, he can leapfrog them, that is, move one forward while the other one is covering it. Perhaps also some Pioneers in the back, but ultimately that's going to be a much slower push, and not one that really will be able to deal with the troops inside their houses, so... Andyisrippin is clearly shifting his focus towards this part of the map, just using the MG to keep Blackdolphn occupied in the centre, and thinking that, you know, things are really happening there. Sniper going into two Volkskanadiers, two MGs, a bike and a sniper, one of the heavier tier 1 starts from Andyisrippin, and the 2nd Panzer Division. We are of course seeing a much more common full rifleman start from Blackdolphn. Supplying on the way, so clearly he's going to be going for the armoured cars very soon, or possibly tanks, if Blackdolphn feels that aggressive. So of course, will Blackdolphn continue to hammer into this area, or will he be trying towards this area and basically deal with Andyisrippin there, or possibly there again, forcing Andyisrippin to actually abandon this stronghold, or at least render it considerably less strong, because again it simply can't cover most of the map. But now we actually see that Andyisrippin is realizing that his south is rather weak and is shifting. In fact, the MG42 there, probably also because he saw again this point was taken, he knows they're going to be moving up here. Riflemen advancing here, going straight into two Volkskanadier squads, who are already getting several kills before the Riflemen even get close. And this could definitely work out very well for Andyisrippin. There we go, the Riflemen absolutely got gutted again. Two Volkskanadier squads working together are quite a formidable force. Infantry doctrine up, mines going down for Blackdolphn. And the Volkskanadier is pushing forth there again. Note all the wounded Riflemen again. That's what two Volkskanadier squads can do to two Rifleman squads advancing on them. So again, generally you do get more out of your Volkskanadiers if they work together in larger groups. And that again is what I would call a good tip on Volkskanadiers. They work better when they're together, less well on their own. Motor pull up, armoured car on the way. Andyisrippin is now making very good progress against Blackdolphn. Again, that engagement right there was definitely to his advantage, really taking out the wind of a lot of his infantry forces. Of course, we also saw the Volkskanadiers ultimately pushed away, but ultimately they did a lot more damage. So they're generally a lot happier, I imagine. Small engagement here, armoured cars soon ready, and in fact that will be a bit of a problem for Andyisrippin, because again the heavier tier 1 he went for has left him slightly vulnerable to an armoured car. Now, of course, the question is, can Blackdolphn leverage this armoured car in a strong and convincing manner? Oh, we're also seeing a mine going down, but the armoured car moves in, will catch the Pioneers. They're so close to each other. One hit, and there we go, Pioneer squad wiped out, mine cancelled. That was well done there, but Blackdolphn getting a nice opportunity right there to gut Andyisrippin of one Pioneer squad. And we do see the package out, of course. Andyisrippin knew that would happen, because again he's seen absolutely no upgrades or nothing that indicates a weapon support center from Blackdolphn. Blackdolphn. Of course, Blackdolphn, if he'd wanted to play around a bit with, you know, Andyisrippin said, he could have, for example, waited a bit, then going for BARs or grenades, you know, so that when the pack came, he would in fact be a bit more vulnerable to anti-infantry operations. But there, of course, you go. Ravnia hitting a mine right in front of the church, taking sniper fire, definitely not doing too well. Volkswagen's moving up, coming straight under fire from the armoured car. The armoured car raking down a few of the Ravnia nearby building heavily as well. Trias ended up. Pioneers and Flamethrower Engineers dancing a bit of a dance there in the northern half. Volkswagen's continue up. Pack trying its best as well. And the pack firing away now at the building. Armoured car getting a bit Panzerfaust back spotted there. First shot knocks out a window, but not the gun. And there we go, absolutely excellent hit. Tears out a huge chunk of the building. And of course we do see that Blackdolphn, of course, rather realizes again that building won't have long and he won't want to lose the rifle squad in it, so he abandons it. But of course also allows the Volkswagen to move up close, to take up position here by the closer wall. The rifle now much more easy to flank. In fact, again, they won't be getting much cover out of this, perhaps some light cover from the hedges. More rifle pushing in. In fact, we see Andyisrippin pulling back, interestingly enough. No doctrine from MG42 setting up to try to stop. Mine goes off, pinning, murdering quite a few rifle in the pack. Is not really well positioned to support his troops, his front line, allowing the armoured car to get in another hit before it gets away. But ultimately, the armoured car has, as of yet, not really caused a lot of kills, just damage. MG42 remains down here, and of course Andyisrippin is pointing it that way because he's got that wire there and he's quite confident in the wire right there. Though of course if someone was to cut it, then move up and hit the flank here without Andyisrippin paying attention, he could very easily lose this heavy machine gun. And there we go, the gun once more fires from behind the trees. We once more see one engineer dead and the rest running away. So very well positioned MG, and again much stronger due to the placement of barbed wire, making it that much harder to surprise and run up on, although there is also another small gap right here where in theory someone could move up, but that's also more likely to get you spotted by the nearby forces and all the troops moving through here, so it's less well for that. Again, the primary would be a few engineers sneaking up here, cutting the wire and then sorting out the bastards that way. 2 Grenadier squads now to support the 2 Volks Grenadier forces. Another Pioneer squad on the way for Andyisrippin. On the 2nd Panzer Division so far, though the Panzer Grenadiers are doing the most. Not a single sight of a Panzer Company or anything. Grenadiers advancing up. And in the town we see another engagement. We also see BARs up for Blackdolphn. The Volksgrenadiers definitely cannot hold up to that. Riflemen flanking up there, hitting the flank sniper. Can't really do much. MD trying to stop that. The Volksgrenadiers here getting absolutely overrun. And without the grenades. And I think he had a Goliath right there, but he didn't quite get the entire squad. Rifle moving up, hitting a mine, getting pinned, suppressed. But we already seeing that Andyisrippin has moved into a full head-on retreat. We also see Camp Cup centers up, but that's going to be some time before we see the upgrades. The veterancy. Raven here getting stopped by a single Pioneer squad and the bike, then getting a few kills, but more Raven are pouring in. In the meanwhile, the Grenadiers just continue their work in the north as the rest of the field collapses. Pack gets off a nice hit on the armor car, but it is not quite dead yet. And Andyisrippin has been forced out of the town centre by the 2nd Infantry Division, making a very nice push right there. Veterans one on the way for Andyisrippin's infantry. Grenadiers securing those bits. MG still remaining down here, although looks like it's now been recruited by Pioneers, so that means of course something sorted out. But a quick recruiting by the Pioneers leaves it open to clear out some damnable engineers. And there we go, armor car once moving in again, heavily damaged, but a few kills richer, and gets on poor Grenadier in the face. And a bit of taking up going on there for Andyisrippin. That is good, that is good. He of course could go either for the Sturm Armory or he could go straight for the Panzer Command. Panzer Command, of course, offering a bit more punch, a bit more aggression and daring do. And artillery going up here, forcing the Grenadiers away with the loss of Heinz, the Corporal, and Sturm Armory upgrade almost done. Bit of quiet again as Blackdolphn is marching up for greater war. Now go head on assault there. A bit too close on everything though. Careful, Andy, careful. Sniper gets a kill, but the MG simply getting overwhelmed. Volkswagen is once more, and we're seeing inspired assault. It seems like an odd timing to use it for. It won't actually benefit really the MG crew, not even the sniper. The infantry, of course, will, but then they're not really positioned to really get the most out of it. But there we go, the Riflemen are now taking some nasty losses as the Volksgrenadiers get increased rate of fire and more damage, of course. They reach the hit, of course, putting them into building will, of course, help with that sort of part of the bit. Artillery, though, going in. No, he's getting the troops out right in front of the artillery. What are you doing, Andy? Why did you do that? Why did you just right-click? Why didn't you choose the squad again, select, and then order them to exit that door? That was terrible. That's a waste. Yes, sir. Never mind again that inspired assault rather conspired to lose him. His snipers, of course, that would also been made easier to hit. Generally, that was a pretty poor engagement from him right there. Absolutely awful. Dreadful even. And a mine goes off, quickly killing and pinning the rest. Though there also looks to be a BAR in the front of them in the grass. And again, I mean, he was able to do a lot of damage with the inspired assault, but again, he lost so much more than it was worth. It really didn't make much sense for him to do it right then like that. It was a really, really weird one. And an armoured car's on the way, which is again not necessarily what he wants, considering there's a Greyhound out. He wants something a bit more mobile to hunt it down, since again that Greyhound is really proving to be an utter bastard. And there we go, Grenadiers at full numbers. A bit of quiet again. This point's being secured, and there you go, another small engagement again. The pack's not really well positioned. I mean, Andyisrippin is really not positioning in any way that helps him protect against any pushes up this centre village. And there you go, though, getting off a hit, but again, he just needs to get behind the cafe once more. And I mean, that pack really is very limited in usefulness at the moment. But there we go, armoured car is out. He could consider a Stug. He could consider upgrading the armoured car to a Puma. And it is holding up here, but they're a bit on their own. Armoured car, though, arriving. Will it be able to turn the tide? Grenade here on the rifleman, and ooh, gets off a few nice kills there. Lovely. And rifle squad once more being stopped by an MG42 down south. But we do see another rifle squad moving up to hit the flank of that MG crew, which is good news for the ones getting currently murdered by the MG. And once more the armor cars quickly detached to clear out that flanking issue as well, but a bit too late as the MG crew is forced to run for it. Second armoured car, Veteran 2-1 on the way for the armoured car, is going to make them a bit harder to damage. That is always a good upgrade to consider. And Grenadiers getting dealt with up here by the armoured car. No punch of fake, no armoured defense. And again, Blackdolphn getting the most out of his armoured car, using it to cover flanks up, cover harassment up. Again, that is where armoured cars rather excel on the flanks, but there's usually much lighter forces. And of course the armoured cars having a bit of trouble dealing with troops in heavy cover. No real attempt on flanking here from Andyisrippin, so that's going to be a very slow approach. And again, not really something that's going to benefit him or benefit Blackdolphn. Bunker on the way there, and we also see a howitzer going up now for Blackdolphn as well, going to add some artillery to bombard those goddamn krauts. Bunker almost up. The question is, what does he want to upgrade with? It could be... no, he doesn't even... he just gets Goliath. Well, that's weird. That is very weird. I would have preferred a medic bunker and one up earlier. Blackdolphn lining up for another assault. Takes his time to build up the forces and gather them in the right positions before launching the assault, and let's in fact head back to him. Goliath popping back. Engineer squad closer going down, but again we see the Greyhound on the spot. Promising swift pain and retribution to any Germans which crosses its path. And the Riflemen advancing up here, getting blasted by the heavy armoured cars, which in fact saw service from the beginning of the war, just like the lighter one. And the Goliath here getting sort of spotted, but the engineers apparently is rather overlooking it. So that is not quite working out for them. Well, not really for Andyisrippin either. And one tree gets cut down in its prime. 3 Grenadier squads now out for Andyisrippin. That's an awful lot of Grenadiers. And still got nothing to really deal with the armoured car. And again, that pack is just poorly positioned. Constantly and ever so. Really isn't working out for Andyisrippin at all. There we go, they're finally getting off a few more hits. But like the armoured car will get away again, and there we go, in fact calling in artillery on the pack and the nearby MG. And for that matter, the armoured car, get it out of there, Andy, get it out of there. And off on that as well, direct hit on the anti-tank gun, threatening to wreck it. Come on, Andy, just get out of there. And there we go, off map, getting off a nice hit on the armoured car. Another bit, they're almost wrecking it. This is terrible. And there we go, the anti-tank gun is wrecked, and now Andy is even more vulnerable to the armoured car. Now Veterancy 2. By the way, this is really bad stuff. That's the sort of situation where Blackdolphn really gets the upper hand, and again one really has to ask what Andyisrippin is doing at times. Rather moving up to deal with the Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers doing what they can, Pioneers nearby. Could the Volksgrenadiers win this one? Does not look like it though. No more veterans on the way for units. And an anti-tank gun has arrived and immediately opens up. Not entirely sure what he's trying to hit. There we go, the armoured car. The armoured car needs to pull away and does so. Repair bunker up for Andyisrippin, that is good. That is a bit out in the open, and a Stug. Wunderbar, wunderbar, more veterans on the way. Grenadiers getting caught up in the open, that's good. And artillery on the armoured car. Small engagement up here north, Riflemen versus Grenadiers. Quick grenade and forces the Riflemen out of cover, making them easier targets for the Grenadiers, who also proceed to move up to actually get some cover as well, which is better.
Grenades have arrived.
Ooh, looks like some Riflemen finally hit a mine, pinning themselves, pressing the Grenadiers, allowing the Grenadiers to open up again. But the Grenadiers might go down to the Riflemen's BR, and of course they can't get off a grenade, and that can actually prove to be very devastating for these wounded and clamped up Riflemen. But no, they are winning. The Grenadiers could go down, and he retreats. That definitely did not work out for him very well. He should have grenaded them, I think. And Grenadiers in the north running into problems as well. Basically, Andyisrippin is having troubles on every possible front. Still holding some parts of the map, but Blackdolphn is quite expeditiously seeing to that, although we do see an armoured car going to move in and sort some of the problems out. And again, not entirely sure what Andyisrippin is trying to achieve, because it's definitely not working out very well. It is definitely not working out very well for him.
Crowds are pounding on a forward emplacement.
And the Semois artillery, armoured car moving in, might try and get the howitzer, but it's not really got the firepower for that. He should have sent in a Stug then, and then perhaps supported with the armoured car to help deal out the infantry, but I mean, sending in an armoured car on its own to try and deal with this is perhaps less good, and one has to ask, why did he even do that then? So that was a bit of a waste of opportunity already here. Finish off that howitzer. And another anti-tank gun. Bit of off-map artillery, but where? Ah, up north. Oh, getting most of the Volks Grenadiers, and he might lose the entire squad. Yes, he does. Very bad news for Andyisrippin there. Although so far it just seems to keep on rolling in terms of bad news for him. He has yet to kill a single of Blackdolphn's infantry squads, from what I can determine. He's only killed a few engineers, really, I think. So generally not going so well for him. Oh no! The Greyhound's right past the Goliath. Main gun destroyed, but no, he can't. He didn't get it. There's nothing close enough to take it on. The armoured cars are not rolling in. He's allowing Blackdolphn's armoured car to escape. No, that was a waste of a Goliath then. Oh dear. Can he at least win the engagement in the centre? Can he get the anti-tank? And there we go. He needs to quickly support it with the armoured cars. He needs to get his Stugs up as well. Everything into the town. But there we go. Artillery straight on the Grenadiers. But where is the rest of the support? And he should definitely try and secure himself that anti-tank gun to use against that armoured car. And it looks like he's getting another one of his own. Well, he has already. Never mind. More artillery raining down into the town square.
Losing ground out there.
Also a few mines from Blackdolphn, but ultimately though Blackdolphn not mining so much except a few vital junctions. More artillery going down in the defense of the centre. These riflemen got themselves a very nasty surprise as the 2cm auto cannons tore them several new ones. Bit of quiet on the field. Supplied upgrade number 2. A mine up there and straight into the mine. Well done, Andy. Well done. Oh, direct hit on the Stug. Stug needs to get away, and it does so nicely. Miner fighting up north. Grenadiers versus Riflemen. Riflemen taking some losses. Finally getting the Raketen Panzerbüchse up for his Grenadiers. Very powerful anti-tank weapon for infantry, that is. They also had, of course, had the Panzerfaust, which saw a lot more variants, including one which ended up sort of being like a Panzerschreck, and then you can actually reload it. As, of course, the earlier Panzerfaust was considerably more disposable. Riflemen, Rangers pushing in, armoured coming cleared out there, but ooh, takes hits from the anti-tank gun. actually stays in front of it. One more hit and that could be the end of the armoured car. One more hit, come on Fritz. And finally the armoured car goes down. Rangers pushed away. Propaganda War saves the day in the centre, just barely and somewhat awkwardly for Andyisrippin. In fact, let's go look at him and let's go over to the mid-game analysis. The current situation, as you might be noticing, is a bit 50-50, but much, well, actually a bit over 50 for Blackdolphn, who's currently holding most of the map, though we do see that Andyisrippin will quickly be able to overcome that. His current force composition a bit alright, but still there are some gaps. He still suffered a lot of losses, and he needs something a bit more to keep those streets his. And of course there's still the howitzer. He should definitely consider some sort of option for clearing it out. Either he sends in some unit directly to knock it out, or he quickly sneaks in something, calls in a V1, or well, just something. And of course, if he wants to go for the V1 option, he might consider observation post to secure himself additional munitions for that. Otherwise, of course, it's going to take some time. For Blackdolphn, I mean, things looking alright. I mean, he's really killed a lot of Andyisrippins. He's finally beginning to suffer some actual losses, but he's largely also got the upper hand. He could consider getting now for the tank depot, getting some Hellcats, perhaps a Sherman out, and just rolling through Andyisrippin, because again, the current amount of anti-tank that Andyisrippin can muster is partly not very well placed, again, considering the overall architecture of the town, and, well, it's a bit lacking in volume at the moment, so I mean, that could really do some damage to Andyisrippin if handled properly, but you know, otherwise, keep it up there for Blackdolphn. He's constantly attacking from different angles, again forcing Andyisrippin to spread out. And Andyisrippin force composition is not really, you know, going for the sort of fighting he is, which is very much heads on. And then of course the question becomes, probably he should have gone Panzer Command, isn't it? And that's probably yes. And of course he might want to consider now going for a Panzer Command and getting some panzers out. That might actually overall help him much better than the armoured cars, because again, he's not quite getting the full thing out, and he's not using them as the great tools for mobility. He's just using them more up in the face of his opponent while he's in cover, which of course means the armoured cars aren't going to be doing as much as they can. But let us return to the fight, to the battle, to combat stuff. And nice hit on the MD-42, which Andyisrippin is trying to use to seize the victory point, and oh, very close that a second shell actually wiped it out. That would have been quite a blow. Well, another blow to Andyisrippin. And again, note this anti-tank gun simply won't be getting much coverage out of things. Veterans 2 for vehicles. I never quite understood why some players get all you get, for example, for the armoured cars is a slight increased sight range. It's not really going to be a huge advantage. I mean, he'd be better off again getting Veterans 2 for his Stug, or some more Veterans for this, or some Veterans for his MG. I mean, plenty of other things would have benefited more from those resources. So again, going for the Panzer Command and getting some panzers out. But neither of those things seems to be happening. Instead, he seems to be just throwing resources at the armoured cars, which ultimately won't do him much bloody good. Also looks like he has just wrecked this anti-tank gun instead of using it himself, which is also a definite shame, I think. Could have used that quite nicely against Blackdolphn and any future plans he might have had. But now Andyisrippin, of course, on the rest of the map, but again, Blackdolphn attacking in force. He's just not sending troops in piecemeal. He's launching larger groups, going in after the enemy, supporting them, all that. So a bit more well sorted out tactics from him. And Veterans 2 now getting lots of veterans, in fact, for support units all of a sudden. And then Veterans 3 for his infantry. I think he may be, expending a bit too much all of a sudden in veterancy. In particular, some parts of the veterancy which really won't do much good again. Veterans 2 for armoured cars, when he again probably wouldn't benefit more from actual armour, pushing things a bit further in his advantage. And Grenadiers grenaded. Mines going down there. Of course, Blackdolphn is worried that there might be some sort of rush, but he also needs to consider this area. Otherwise, I mean, they're just going to drive up here, right past this small wall, and just shoot the howitzer that way. I mean, this is not exactly the Maginot Line. This is not Hadrian's Wall. This is just something you just drive through. This is not a real obstacle for any sort of vehicle. King Tiger prepared. And a nice direct hit right there on the cafe. Bunker up in the centre, likely going to use that to hold up, but again it's going to be rather vulnerable to artillery fire, so the question is how much he will ultimately benefit from it. And veterans infantry for his infantry, MG42 setting up to cover everything there. Grenadiers holding up there, Rifleman moving in, might get off a grenade there against the veterans of the infantry. There we go, Grenadiers pulling back. Stug rolling about, nice hit from the Rangers at the side of it. Bazooka could only penetrate 60mm armor, which rather meant it had quite some severe problems with most German frontal armor. And pretty much had problems dealing with the Tiger tank unless they actually hit it from the rear, since even its side armor was considerably formidable. And the small engineer squad suffered a gruesome demise. Stug needs to get out of there, Andy. Come on. And MG crew gets wiped out. Stug gets knocked out. Pioneer squad gets knocked out. Again, there's just these sort of knock-on effects because, again, Andyisrippin seems to be reacting a bit too slowly. And again, this MG bunker was just a waste of resources. Really didn't do much. So the question becomes, why did he go for it except for a false sense of security? Snipers now on the way. And we're seeing what looks like an off-map combat group providing him with an armoured car, some riflemen and several anti-tank guns, which is definitely bad news for the German armoured cars.
We are losing ground.
There we go, the sharpshooters are moving up. And there we go, Ranger down. Lots of mines there from Blackdolphn, and quickly gets one false grenadier, wounds the rest. They might be crawling straight into another mine though as they're trying to get out. There we go, squad is pinned, and it is down to 2 men. And nicely placed mines there, really devastated some of Andyisrippin's false grenadiers, which he apparently are training now from scratch. Not sure why. Armor car quickly running into town, trying to get off, and quickly gets sticky bombed. Not working out very well for Andyisrippin. Another anti-tank gun cleared out, trying to wreck that one as well. Greyhound going nuts here in the north. Bad news all around, and more artillery going off. Anti-tank guns are moving in, might try and get that armoured car, which is in a very poor condition. No replacement repair bunker, which definitely would have benefited. And he might be trying to go for that King Tiger now, the Königstiger, the Tiger 2. And there we go, nice Panzer strike hit, connects there with the armoured car, but gets a bit forced away there by the Greyhound. Not entirely sure why he's now all of a sudden trying to take a munitions point right there. That seems to be an awfully poor timing for that when he hasn't secured the area. Quickly into the church, might try and get... Yeah, we go. Panzer strike connects with the Greyhound, but also renders the Grenadiers a bit of a nice target for the surrounding units. Bit of quiet, bit of silence, and a second sniper. I suppose what Andyisrippin is trying to do is basically just clear out as much as Blackdolphn's infantry, starting a huge manpower drain on him, but it's nothing quite near like the sort of manpower drain he's already suffered, and Blackdolphn does have the ability to absorb more of it up compared to Andyisrippin, who's already again been bled a lot. He needs something to push the advantage a bit more squarely in his advantage. Again, he needs tanks. He needs something with a bit of speed, so it becomes a bit harder for Blackdolphn to just line up a defense, because currently, I mean, Blackdolphn does have that stalwart defense. He has that ability to basically just quickly bog down Andyisrippin. If Andyisrippin goes in slowly, this sniper way, he might simply just lose all momentum. And there we go, we can see Blackdolphn launching in a considerable assault. Troops and anti-tank guns, armor cars from the north, and some more infantry from the west. Also supported by an anti-tank gun, take no chance there. Sticky bomb, Rangers might try and overwhelm the sniper there. Sniper needs to get away, get away. Bazookas flying, none of them hit, but the armored car is still there, and that is definitely going to be a target for the bazookas. Ooh, sticky bomb going. We do see the King Tiger arriving on the horizon, but it's a bit too late as it sees its friend in the armored car simply getting blown to bits. Armed with a Pak 43 gun, just like the yacht Panther, the Elephant, and so on. Quite devastating gun. And a nice direct hit there on the armoured car. But the King Tiger could pretty much take on any allied tank and win, since it could pretty much knock them all out with one hit. Sniper here getting spotted. That is what you'd also call bad news for Andyisrippin. Smaller push up here. Ooh, very close hitting him on there, but seems to dodge it. But again, now we see the Blackdolphn, by the way, has intensified the mining right here, making it very difficult for Andyisrippin to maneuver about. King Tiger fighting heavily in the center, getting surrounded by anti-tank guns and other nasties. And right from here getting caught, some of them dead in the ditches. Can this armored car escape, or will it go down? Looks like it does succeed. King Tiger gets another kill. Needs to push in. He needs to clear out those anti-tank guns before it's too late. It looks like he might get one right there. Also, I would suggest he gets a repair bunker behind the cafe to have something constantly repairing that King Tiger, since it's going to be a target, of course, for artillery. In that sense, I mean, having pioneers that automatically are replaced will be also so much better there in terms of economics. Grenadiers hit a mine, losing another man. They will need to get out of there as well. Also, weapon support sent up for Blackdolphn. Looks like he might have tried a tank there, but decided against. Likely going to get a counter now of his own. Fultzker's here holding up against the Horde, but Propaganda War slightly helps. Anti-tank gun likely going to get cleared out. He might try and get off a Panzerfaust, but he doesn't have the munitions. Propaganda War drained him of life and vigor. And another move up there, quickly pinned. Several men dead or wounded on the bridge. And nothing to assist the Volksgrenadiers as they fight here, though they might be very close now to the Panzerfaust. Engineers trying to repair, but they are getting wiped out. Blackdolphn there getting a bit too brazen, I think. There we go, Panzerfaust ready. And gets it, but Sniper gets poor Fritz. Also would be a good idea for Mr. Andyisrippin to consider that, which is sounding some of those vehicles around here. Getting another armored car, he needs infantry and he needs a repair bunker up. Schnell! But back to Blackdolphn and the 2nd Infantry.
We're at 200 points.
And there we go, the Grenadiers are quickly run off as snipers and other nasties add themselves to the assault list. I really would recommend a repair bunker here for Andyisrippin, and my god, Blackdolphn's got a ton of manpower, there's not much he can use it on, although of course he might soon take care of that as soon as he gets that point once more his own. Blackdolphn has in fact, Andyisrippin, I mean, has secured most of the victory points and most of the map now. But the question is, how long can he hold it? Because again, he's, well, slightly overextending himself and can't really hold all of that territory.
Yes, sir.
There's still been nothing done about the howitzer. Really, Andy? Really? And there we go, looks like another assault has commenced. Although getting stopped up here in the north by a bit of barbed wire, but ultimately not very much. And looks like some riflemen actually stolen a Panzer. That's bad news for the King Tiger. Or any other vehicle the riflemen might encounter. Snipers doing what they can, Rangers firing away on the armoured car, riflemen doing the same, might get off a sticky bomb. Grenade, no, instead all on the Fultz Grenadiers killing one. Damaged engine on the King Tiger. Snipers plucking away. Ending lives left and right. And there's now a bike out for Andyisrippin. It's like you're going to try and catch the American sniper if he can, but of course he will more likely get cleared up before that happens. And there we go, sticky bomb. And good night bike. It has turned into fine metal dust. More artillery on the King Tiger. Pioneer is quickly shifting away again. Repair bunker would be nice for Andyisrippin. Would mean less management in that department again. It would also mean again, as the Pioneers lost, he would be getting new ones without having to pay for that. That is also one of the other advantages of the repair bunker. It again means not having to pay for more Pioneers to repair stuff. Riflemen on the run in the north. And 3 Hellcats are moving in. Pack might finally be able to do some good. As it's there to protect the King Tiger. In fact, it forces the Hellcats to stay in front of the King Tiger since they can't flank. That's actually reasonably good news. And there we go, 2 Hellcats down. The King Tiger still there, but it is barely there. It has taken considerable damage. Sniper gets another kill. Pack crew moving in and gets off a nice little hit there as well. Grenadiers likely trying to spot out the sniper. There we go, they can follow a bit because he snipes, so there's a little thing we can usually click, like that for example, then you can follow the sniper for a bit of a while. It's a little trick. And it did result in Blackdolphn losing a sniper to those damn Krauts. And already 1 Pioneer down. Again, this is not really working out nicely for Andyisrippin. He really should consider investing in a repair bunker, as that's going to be cheaper in the short and even in particularly in the long run. Since a Pioneer squad almost costs as much as a bunker. And of course he has to get more of them. Again, it's definitely going to just pay off better. So why he isn't doing it, of course, is a bit of a good question. But Blackdolphn definitely enjoying better and better control as the pressure increases on Andyisrippin. And in fact, he's forced now to much better protect the King Tiger, since again it's pretty much currently a huge metal bunker which can't really move. But also very expensive, of course.
Forces are taking casualties.
Small force actually went down here. Looks like some riflemen had their heads caved in here by some grenadiers. They might want to pick up the 2nd BAR.
What's their plan? We're ready.
Andyisrippin trying to hunt down the armoured car, but not quite succeeding. In fact, the armoured car spotting what was going on. Grenadiers here trying. Can they get off the grenade? So they're already losing 1 man to that 30 caliber machine gun, and there we go. Getting almost, well, getting me to in fact, but not quite more anything else than that. And artillery here catching several grenadiers, turning them into a fine red mist. Rangers moving in. Rifle moving in from another side. Rangers quickly pushed off with considerable losses. And then proceeds to miss the rifleman. Oh, and there we go. 2 Pioneer squads wiped out. Again, it's simply not paying off. Andyisrippin, he really needs to repair bunker. And this armor car could actually end up going down. We could see another off-night camera group anytime now soon from Blackdolphn. And there we go. As his men are getting churned up, we do see more riflemen, more machine guns, mortars, and another Hellcat. Andyisrippin is now doing, but they can armored car go down. In fact, armored cars go down from both sides. Oh, not the German one yet, at least.
What are my coordinates?
Might be an idea to keep your snipers away from the King Tiger, and the King Tiger is pretty much a standing target that is a priority target as is known, which means pretty much anything next to it is likely going to get caught up in artillery as well, since it's simply going to be such a huge target. That's the same thing with medic bunkers, which is also a reason why you want to keep it close to the front, but not necessarily where your troops are, because again, then they might also get caught up in any artillery. It's usually a good thing to know what in your army counts as a priority target for your opponent, what is more likely to attract artillery, and then place it in such a way so it will be the least efficient artillery and not the sort of thing that's going to be taking out most of your army and other vital assets. Sadly though, Andyisrippin is rather feeding in a lot of pioneers, and there we go, Grenadiers instead getting caught up by what looks like an off-map. Grenadiers trying to retreat, and looks like they're largely succeeding in such a retreat. But he's back to the snipers close to the King Tiger. That is definitely a bad move. Hellcats are moving in. Snipers finding a way. Pack, again, can't really cover. He moved it. Oh dear, Andyisrippin, you do seem persistent in poor pack placement. 3Ps. And looks like that King Tiger is going to go down like the Bismarck. Disabled and then later taken up by on the leisure of the Allies. And an armored car going down. Pack down. Pioneer down. Rather a terrible collapse right there for Andyisrippin and the 2nd Panzer Division. And whatever schwere Panzerabteilung provided right there, that King Tiger.
The Yankees are grabbing our territory.
Terrible stuff, terrible stuff. And veterans, the 3 riflemen.
Our base is under attack.
And now in fact straight up bombarding. Andyisrippin, who's now just getting lots of packs, which really doesn't make sense considering again his opponent's got on-map artillery, which he uses quite frequently and will be using more and more frequently as he gains veterans and thus can fire more often. Had he, for example, cleared out the howitzer earlier, then the packs could have been a better move, but currently they're just a liability that's going to be knocked out by the artillery. And a few grenadiers stopped by an MG in the house.
What are your orders?
Andyisrippin is enjoying the advantage when it comes to victory points, but that's about it at the moment that he is enjoying in terms of advantages. since he's definitely got no panzer command, which might have provided him with some sort of heavier punch. Snipers doing what they can, and a few pioneers here getting killed most likely. And there we go.
We are ready.
And now a mortar on the front line as well for Blackdolphn. A bit exposed. Rangers quickly rushing in. Grenadiers arriving. And artillery getting called in. The snipers, though, he is quick to move them. And the Grenadiers.
They're losing territory.
The one Grenadier, though, was not fast enough. Fat Franz had been eating a bit too much of the sauerkraut. And just so much, so he's really trying to catch these two snipers in that short amount of space. But ultimately, Andyisrippin prevails and gets them out of there, and then proceeds to clear out that mortar in a most swift manner. And Grenadier squad almost wiped out.
One of our sectors has
Looking very bad. Machine gun crew spotted and dead. Grenadier down, dropping a Panzer strike. That is definitely very bad news for Andyisrippin, as he's losing more and more infantry. Okay, likely going to try and either spot or crush the snipers. Either way, something's going to likely kill them. But we do see a Stug arriving. He's actually got himself a Stug and he's got the pack. Firing away with glee. There we go. Hellcat almost down. And in fact, now it is wrecked. Rifleman squad could be very close to going down there, but not quite the case ultimately. And now the Howitzer, by the way, is veterancy free, meaning it's going to definitely be firing quite often from Blackdolphn's side. And lots of Grenadiers now on the way for Andyisrippin. Let's just speed this up a bit. Not entirely sure why the snipers were all the way down there. Looks like... I wonder where the artillery's going. Ah, towards north, not really hitting the Grenadiers there, surprisingly enough. And just lots of riflemen equipped with nasty things, including these veterans of free riflemen with a Panzer strike. That is definitely bad news, since that means they will get 50% more damage off the Panzer strike, which is usually why you do not want German weapons falling into the hands of American troops, in particular Vet 3, because it means they will actually be able to do more damage with them than you could ever possibly do yourself. That rather ought to give you an idea of how evil Veterancy 3 is for the Americans. Actually stealing a pack. Did he just sacrifice a Veterancy 3 squad to seize that pack? A Veterancy 3 squad with a Panzer strike? Oh god. I mean, it's a good thing he actually is winning this, otherwise I would imagine Blackdolphn kicking himself over that one. That is not what you want to happen, ever, otherwise. That could very much be a GG moment. Also, Veterancy 3 Rangers, also bad news. Ooh, and counter-snipe sniper. And GG from Andyisrippin. And game over. I lost to the Germans. And I think it rather came down to the sort of unit composition that Andyisrippin had. It was not really meant for the sort of fighting that Blackdolphn engagement, nor did he engage in. He tried to use his armored cars as small tanks, and they're not really built for that. He should have then gone for the Panzer command set, guards and Panzer IVs, perhaps a Stug as a Fuss, and that way he would probably had a much better chance against Blackdolphn. As it was, there were really some things that didn't really fit together. Partly that sudden inspired assault in the worst possible position. That many armored cars getting Veterancy 2 for them. Only one Stug with Veterancy 1. I mean, just lots of things that didn't quite make sense. Again, the utter refusal to get a second repair bunker, and again, just wasting a lot of pioneers trying to repair that King Tiger. I mean, so many nasty things there, whereas Blackdolphn just kept the aggression up, kept playing also the flanks, made it really difficult for Andyisrippin to get the most out of it. Definitely also took advantage of Andy's poor pack placement. So overall, nice little game there. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, want to subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not send a review of your own? Provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.